And it will give Polk County something it doesn't have today: dependable, around-the-clock emergency care. Together, we can make it happen. Visit ParkRidgeClevelandER.com to learn more and add your voice in support. That's ParkRidgeClevelandER.com.
You're listening to Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. The Drive is coming up. The ESPN Cleveland 101.3 lineup is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. WholesaleSupply.us.
It's $1.50 Wing and Whiskey Wednesday at Aubrey's Cleveland.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Think your body. Woo!
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Excited to be here with all of our loyal listeners. Jake, we got a lot of loyal listeners out there. I have people coming up to me throughout the Christmas break that were, hey, missed the show being on. And I said, hey, it's nice to know that you're listening, first of all.
Yeah, that's for sure. My brother, he contacted me. He goes, are y'all not doing a show today? And I'm like, no. I said, we're not coming back on till the 5th. So, yeah, that was it does go show you that we do have loyal listeners, and they're wanting their sports fix every day from 5 to 6.
I was getting my tire changed. I popped a tire leaving the station actually a couple weeks ago. Had to pull over into the school parking lot over there, and so the next day I was taking it to get it fixed, and somebody goes, man, y'all must be scraping the bottom of the barrel if you got Corey Lindbergh coming on here. And I was like, man, I'm just glad to know that you listen to the show.
Yeah, that's funny stuff.
It was it's good to hear from you guys, and we do have a volunteer Ridipest text line if you ever want to get a hold of us.
So I'm glad you threw that out there, and I promise I rushed in late today, so much so that when I got into the studio, Jim said, Andy, you look like you've had a rough day. And apparently that was an insult towards my hair, which you can go ahead and elaborate a little bit if you want to, Jim.
I have hair envy. What can I say? I'd do anything to have a messy hair, a bad hair day.
Yeah. But he said, did you not comb your hair today? And I said, no, Jim, I did. Just trying something a little different here. But no, I did. I came flying in from wrestling practice, which, by the way, big night in the community last night. Bradley Cleveland wrestling match took place over at Bradley Central High School. Blue Raiders ended up winning that one. I believe the final score was 61-18, but Bradley got out to a booming start, kind of taking the momentum early, but then obviously ran into some difficulties against that very solid Cleveland lineup. But
what is it, Mike Tyson? He goes, you have momentum and all that kind of stuff. All it takes is a punch to the throat.
Yeah, or a punch in the face.
Yeah, that momentum goes away real quick.
So I want to correct myself. I believe the final score was 58-18 was the final score. Cleveland Blue Raiders on top over the Bradley Bears in wrestling last night. But talk about a good turnout. It's on Facebook Live, the Cleveland Wrestling Facebook Live. Bradley's got some stuff on there as well. But you talk about a community that loves their wrestling. Obviously, I wasn't here yesterday, Walker Valley. We were at East Hamilton. Won big down there, 61-18. So big night for local wrestling and a good turnout over there for that. When it comes to wrestling and you talk about rivalries, you'd be hard-pressed to find anything better than Bradley Cleveland in the entire southeast region of the country.
Yeah, especially, and the fact is that they're public schools and they're not private schools. Usually stuff like that, you see it on the private school level. These are two public schools, and they just dominate.
Yeah, and you throwing that out there, I will say, I'll give some love here. Baylor-McCallie, that on the mat is a pretty impressive rivalry as well. I've never been able to go witness that because I've always been doing my own thing. But one day, that's a bucket list as a wrestling guy. I want to go down and watch a Baylor-McCallie match and watch them get after it, because they bring the same energy and enthusiasm as they do when they meet on the gridiron and on the hardwood and on the diamond. It's very impressive. Anytime those two schools meet up, just like Bradley Cleveland.
Speaking of Baylor and that group, did you see that it's David Gabriel, Georgia's, was named National Player of the Year by Max? Was it Max Preps?
Yeah, Max Preps.
Yeah, Max Preps, National Player of the Year.
Only a junior, by the way.
Yeah.
He's got one more year of high school football left, and he was named the best player in the country.
And I'm pretty sure he joins the ranks of Derrick Henry and a few other players that were running backs taken as juniors, not their senior year as Player of the Year.
I mean, he's already been heavily recruited. I know Ohio State's in on him big time. Tennessee is. Literally every major school in the country is recruiting this kid.
And if I may be wrong, so don't take this to the bank, but I also want to say that he's the first Canadian-born player to win that award.
I believe so. Now, there's been some good players come out of Canada, but as far as the guy, like what you're saying, Jacob, I think you're spot on with that. And listen, I want to give a shout-out to Coach Turner Jackson, who made a little bit of a joke this morning on Mixed Mornings. Steve mentioned that he was the player of the year. What is it? Max Preps player of the year for high school football. And Coach Jackson, first of all, he's on top of his stuff. He knows his stuff. He said, yeah, he's from Canada. No telling how old he is. He threw that in there because a lot of these kids, when they do that, they reclassify, meaning they drop down a grade. When they're coming from another country, they can push the limits a little bit. So you're talking about a guy who's going to be game day ready whenever he does step on a college campus.
Yeah, so I looked it up. He was the first Canadian player to win that award. He also rushed for 117 yards for 27 touchdowns, so basically 11 yards per carry this year. Total yards was 17,056.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's pretty.
So he ran for over 400 yards against McCallie, who is notorious for
games,
playing.
Right?
Well, in the second game, he ran for 400 yards and 7 touchdowns.
I
One
saw that
game.
total. I thought that total. I saw that total, and I thought it was the combined.
That was
for
in
both
the
times they played.
state semifinals.
Yeah, state semifinals is 400, and then he ran for 280 against them in the season.
That is insane. But so I'll say this when it comes to him. When he steps on a college campus, which you talk about winning the lottery, that young man, he can name his price wherever he decides to go to school with the current state of the NIL and the way that goes. But not only is he going to win the lottery financially, but he is literally going to be game day ready coming in as a developed. My brother has seen him down there in Chattanooga at the state championship and said that the guy looks like he's ready to play college football right now.
I'm surprised he hasn't reclassified to try to go to school, college a year early. Maybe he's not, academically there to reclassify. You got to have your academics in line to be able to do that. But
well, I think and this is a lot of athletes. Luckily, I was one of those ones, and my dad was like, "Hey, Andy needs to develop a little bit more." So he knew ahead of time that I wasn't going to be at my peak or my best potential being younger for my age. So started school later. My brother was held back. A lot of these guys, just like him, coming from Canada. Again, we're talking about the Baylor running back Georgia's. They reclassify to be younger so they can reach that physical maturity and still be in high school ball, get recruited better, get better offers. So he's playing the other end of that spectrum to where now he's got one more year of high school and everyone's drooling over him, and he's already reached that potential. He might be one of those guys that you might see him be a January enrollee next season.
yeah, and like I said, the running back position is one of those that you don't want to wear all the tread off your tire, if you know what I'm saying. You don't want to get too many rushes. And I know Baylor's not going to overuse him. If he was
only against McCallie.
Yeah. If he was playing, I guess for Bradley or Cleveland, he'd get a lot more touches because there's no one even close to having the talent he's got. I'm sure Baylor's got some pretty good dudes that are backing him up, so they can pull him early in some of these games to where he's not getting, 30 touches a game. He's probably getting 10, 15 touches, and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't want to give that ball to him that many times because, like I said, you want him to be fresh once the postseason begins.
Well, since we're talking a little high school football, we had a story a couple of years ago of a quarterback leaving Cleveland, going to Bradley. It was big-time news, huge news around here. And help me remember his name. Was it Cash?
Cash Bandy?
Yeah, Cash Bandy was starting quarterback at Cleveland, transferred to Bradley. Unfortunately, got injured, didn't really get much of a season at all. Well, that was a huge story here on this show and on our social medias. Well, now we're kind of seeing the flip side of this, because on social media today, Jaden Gray, who's the starting safety for Bradley, started at wide receiver as well, posted that he's transferring to Cleveland High School. So you're talking about a guy that started on both sides of the ball for Bradley, now transferring to Cleveland. We're getting to this point where high schools are kind of – there's not a window or a transfer portal, but it's trickling down, and we're starting to see more of this stuff happen.
Yeah, I'd be interested, because I know that there talks about passing some transfer rules type stuff, like a one-time transfer.
Well, it basically is already in place.
I know, but I feel like I heard that they're trying to even kind of shore that up a little bit more. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see in the future if there is a one-time transfer, or if we're just going to continue to have this, like, I can bounce around however I want to. Because will it hold up in state, like law?
Well, I'll tell you this. We said this last year. We said, hey, if you're going to get Coach Brown, you better get him this past season, 2025, because everyone knows it ain't just a question of ifs, it's a question of how quickly he can get that program turned around there at Cleveland High School. And we saw this. We all predicted this. We said, oh, yeah, you'll see all sorts of kids transferring to Cleveland now, because he's got a great reputation. A lot of kids want to play for him. And Cleveland High School's reputation, is what it is too. So this is not that shocking to me. It's really not.
Yeah, again, some local breaking news. Jaden Gray, starting safety, wide receiver for Bradley, transferring to Cleveland. And I want to follow that up, making this statement as well. Like, Bradley is an attractive spot. Coach Floyd is a head coach people want to play for.
They'll get to take his spot.
Yeah, there's going to be someone come crawling over there saying, hey, I want to be a Bear. So it goes really all three ways. You look at Walker Valley. We kind of played some musical chairs with some local talent this past season. Seeing guys go from blue to a darker shade of blue, or going from navy to black. It's a chaotic yet kind of entertaining thing. I've got mixed feelings about it. I know you do too, Jim.
Well, from the coaching side of things, you literally you have to reimagine your roster every year, and that's got to be so frustrating. Because you're like, oh, this guy, this sophomore, man, we're really pumped about him. We figure next year he'll really be able to contribute. And next thing you know, he's playing for someone else. All right, now we've got to pluck someone from another school. So the roster management has got to be the biggest headache for all these coaches, and especially in football, because you got 22 guys, 11 guys on offense, 11 on defense. Basketball, where it's 5 guys and a couple of guys coming off the bench, a little easier to manage, although one superstar leaving can really put your team in a bad situation. So it's got to be difficult for these coaches.
Well, I do want to go ahead and say this. Jacob hit on it, and then I got distracted talking about sports stuff. Who would have thought we'd do that on this show? The Volunteer Ridapest phone and text line, 423-749-1013. We want to start getting now that we know we got all these listeners, fellas, we want to get you guys more active and engaged with us during the show.
Yeah, call us.
Again, Volunteer Ridapest phone and text line, 423-749-1013. We want to hear your opinions on the stuff we're talking about. If you got a question for us, or if you want to stump Jim, listen, we need to have a segment called
not hard to do.
Stump Jim Gum, because the guy's a sports encyclopedia over here. But, Jacob, so what are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, as a coach, it would make me want to pull my hair out just because, like what you said, like having to deal with the roster turnover and people being either poached or kids leaving, looking for better opportunities. That'd be tough. The good news is all 3 of these schools have great leaders.
And they're attractive.
Yeah, you can't get it wrong. And so, like, if there is an opportunity open for you at another school, like it's not like you're you're stepping out of one good situation and landing in a bad one. Like you're going to land in a good situation at all three of these high schools. They're all led by great men and great coaching staffs with great principals and great schools. We're really blessed here to have the three schools that we have and have the leadership in place that we do.
Yeah, high school football just finished, by the way, just crowned our state champions, and we're already talking about it again for next season, if that tells you anything about this community. But Jacob, you mentioned great men as head coach and leaders. We're going to have one join the show from the hardwood today. Will Campbell, head basketball coach at Walker Valley High School, had a big win over Baylor last night. We're going to talk to him about that around 5:30 today, going into our second segment. So excited to talk to Coach Campbell. Back and forth throughout this season on the hardwood, the Mustangs have been ranked 1-2 in the state. They're one of the teams to beat.
Yeah, they're sitting at 12-1 right now, and they beat a Baylor team that I believe was 11-2. It was another really good opponent that they faced. Something that I've noticed about their schedule, and not kicking myself because I know I've got a baby at home and I can't be there every night like I used to be. I used to do the PA for Walker Valley, but this would have been a season that would have been a lot of fun to be calling their games, just because the amount of high quality opponents they've stacked that schedule with. If you're gonna make a run at the Glass House, if you're gonna make a run and you want to be good, you're gonna have to see it. You're gonna have to face it. You're gonna run into teams like that Hamilton Heights team that had 6'7", 6'8" dudes on the floor.
6'7".
Get out of here. Every kid in the car just made their parents so mad. But you've got to go face those teams, and I think Walker Valley's doing a good job so far this season, really going out and trying to find some heavy hitters to play like they did with Hamilton Heights and now with Baylor.
Yeah, Coach Campbell's definitely trying to test that team in preparation, as you said, for trying to make a long playoff run.
Well, you've got, we're talking about Walker Valley and their great basketball program. Cleveland and Bradley are good, too. The girls, Bradley and Cleveland, are real strong. So we've got some really talented basketball players here. The wrestling, we've talked about that. I'm sure when baseball season rolls around, we'll be talking about what great baseball teams all three high schools have got. We're very, very blessed here, McCann. It's not like this in every county in Tennessee.
No.
There's a lot of counties in here that they're struggling in all sports, and it's got to be difficult.
Yeah, success, other places, few and far between.
Yeah.
We're spoiled rotten around here.
Big time.
Honestly, we really are, just between the leaders that we have in our men's and women's sports, really all the way down from you start at youth leagues. Youth leagues up. You go youth leagues, middle schools. In my opinion, middle schools around here operate like high schools, and high schools around here operate like small colleges. And I think if you ask athletic directors around here, they would agree with that statement. It's taken very seriously, and there's a lot of thought in who goes into leading these programs. And when you have that kind of leadership in place, you as a parent or as a student athlete, you don't realize how good you really have it around here, because you can't go wrong. You can't with whatever school you choose. You cannot go wrong.
Interesting little sidebar here. I was talking to a couple of dudes that are getting ready to open up a place that's called DBAT. It's an indoor facility.
What'd you call me?
DBAT.
Oh, my bad.
DBAT.
My bad.
Anyway, it's going to open up in late February, where you've got one-on-one hitting instructors, pitching instructors. It's going to open up here in Bradley County, and we need something like this because. Once again, that sport, I'm going to talk about softball and baseball, to where you can really utilize an indoor facility. So we've got something like that that's about, well, they've already broken ground. I think they're having an indoor a golf simulator is going to open up in early February.
That got Jacob's attention
right
there.
Then the baseball indoor facility will open up in late February. And we're going to have something to do with that here on the drive, too.
Do you remember the batting cage that used to be right down the road here?
I do.
Off Mouse Creek Road?
Yes.
Back in the day?
Yes.
That was so utilized. So it's cool to hear that we're getting something like that back again.
And listen, we're a county, I think, I may be wrong, but I think our population is right around Bradley County, about 106,000. That's a big number. We've got, to me, we're underutilized as far as athletic facilities in this county. We need to step it up. And hopefully we can, stuff like this will continue to do, there's all these, plans out there to have a big athletic facility constructed somewhere down the road. I think Bradley County and Cleveland could utilize stuff like this, but I love the fact that we've got people willing to sacrifice and invest in our youth by building facilities like this.
So we have an estimated population, you're really close, of 115,000 people here in Bradley County.
Okay. I probably, my data is probably a year old. My gosh, I mean, our population just exploding.
You're only off by about 10,000, which is about the attendance of a Miami Hurricane football game. We're going to talk about them here in a little bit, playing in the playoffs. But I do want to say this. Excited to have Coach Campbell on around 5:30, head coach of the Walker Valley Mustangs basketball team. But we want you guys to interact with us. You got questions, text us, call us. Volunteer Ridapest phone and text line at 423-749-1013. And Jim had a good idea today. When we come back from this first break, we're going to talk about is it our favorite sports villains or is it the guys we hate the most?
Both. It can be both. And it all basically originates by Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin was a villain when he left Tennessee. And he rebuilt his reputation. And it took him a while, but everyone started liking him again.
He's public enemy number one
now. And now he has just completely destroyed his reputation once again. So we'll get into that.
No doubt. Also, when we come back, we're going to talk more local sports, things that are going on here around the community, the national spotlight on the NFL. Big coach on the market, Mr. Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh on the market now. John Harbaugh, brother of Jim, who former
is
Michigan
also
head coach.
On that sports villains list.
Yes, no doubt.
Just to preview it.
Yeah, all that when we come back right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Good morning. This is your Hardees 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm. We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any two for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardees. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When the road gets tough, make sure your ride is ready. At Cleveland Tire Center on North Lee Highway, they keep you rolling with the best brands, expert installation, and prices that fit every budget. Whether you need new tires, a quick rotation, or a full alignment, their certified team delivers fast, friendly service you can trust. Stop in today and feel the difference that quality makes. Cleveland Tire Center. Locally owned, dependable, and always ready to get you back on the road. Cleveland Tire Center. 4695 North Lee Highway, Cleveland, where the name says it all.
ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is your home for the college football playoffs, presented by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Each and every playoff game to the national championship on January 19th. Plus, every weekday afternoon, The Drive will have the special coverage that will keep you in the know. Presented by Hardees. The college football playoff resides here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Have you seen what happens when a weed eater gets too close to vinyl siding? Ouch! Choose steel siding from Best Buy Metals, available in board and batten and lap siding options. Permanent siding from Best Buy Metals is custom manufactured to the half-inch for a perfect fit. Stop by a showroom or go to bestbuymetalroof.com to learn how you can protect your structure.
No more varicose or spider veins. No more tired, achy, restless legs. No more restless nights. Start your journey to a better you with help from Milligan Vein Clinic. Their board-certified physicians have treated thousands of patients using the latest technologies to restore healthy, great-looking legs. There's little or no downtime, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Milligan Vein Clinic, improving the quality of your life. Visit milliganvein.com or call Dr. James Gooden today at 423-961-5682.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Hey, shout out to Mayfield Dairy. Mayfield Area Chocolate Milk is a great recovery drink for athletes or anyone who exercises. Rich in calcium and vitamin D, get Mayfield's famous chocolate milk at locations near you. And find out more at mayfielddairy.com.
You guys like chocolate milk?
I love it.
I do too.
I love it. So
I do too, man.
So I'm on this diet right now, and like my protein shakes are a big part of the diet, and it's hard not to go with the creamy, rich chocolate. And so I'm throwing this out there for our friends at Mayfield. You start making a protein shake, you're going to have customer number one right here.
Okay.
So with that, we've got Walker Valley head basketball coach Will Campbell on the line with us. Coach Campbell, I appreciate you joining the show with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So if you could, we're going to go ahead and get things kicked off just talking about last night. I know a lot of Mustang fans are very excited about your effort with a big win over Baylor.
Yeah, it was a good game. I was proud of the guys. Thought we battled hard. I think we ended up beating them only by 13, but I felt like it was a pretty commanding 13-point win, if there's such a thing. We had a 4-possession lead or better for 28 minutes of that game. We got up 10. 4 minutes into the first quarter, and we never were within single digits of them for the rest of the game.
Yeah, the final score there, 66-53, Walker Valley over Baylor.
Yeah, Coach.
Right. So our guys just did a good job controlling the game, I felt like.
Coach, I know you guys are super deep. You've got a lot of guys that you can really lean on and trust. But
actually, I wish we were that. Last year we were super deep. This year we're not super deep at all, really, to be honest. But we're just the guys we have are just really good.
I more so was talking about like your starting five. You've got guys that really one guy can have a bad night, but you got some guys that can kind of take over and step up. Was there anybody that dominated the stat line last night?
Yeah, well, Turner and Zach both played. Turner Clayton and Zach Davis both played really good last night. Zach had 26 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, and 4 steals. And Turner had 24 points, 6 boards, and 3 steals. So, between them is 50 points. 50 of our 63 points, or 66 points, were those two guys. So it was pretty impressive watching that last night.
What's the strength of your team, Coach? Is it on the perimeter, or is it on the inside? Where would you say is the most dominant side of the ball on offense?
Yeah, it's definitely our guard play. We don't really have an inside, so to speak. We have pretty good, positional size. Our guards are not small for guards, but we don't, our biggest guy, White Heaton, who broke his wrist in Florida, and he's out for about 6 weeks. But, he was our biggest guy at about 6'4". But, our guard play is really good. I would put our backcourt, with Ashton Davis, Zach Davis, Turner Clayton, now that's starting 5, I'd put them up against any 3 guards in the state that play for anyone. It's going to be hard to find 3 that are going to be better than those 3. And so, I think they just, guard play is really, really good. We take care of the ball well. We're, have a lot of guys, even Isaac Salzwell, Cale Coates, that I didn't mention, but are part of the starting 5, can really just create a lot of shots for themselves and makes us hard to guard, like Jacob was kind of alluding to. You take away one guy and we're kicking it to this guy over here he's 42% three-point shooter. There's not too many weak spots when we got those 5 guys out on the floor together.
Coach, I noticed that you've really gone out and were intentional in your scheduling this year. Kind of just talk about some of the opponents that you have faced and that you're going to see.
Yeah, we've played, and it's funny that you bring that up. I've been talking about this a little bit today with some people because, I'm a little bit frustrated by some of the coverage that we get, statewide. And not from you guys. I think you guys do an excellent job here covering us locally. And and have us on shows like this, and it's great. But man, I mean, we've played some tough. We're 12-1 right now, and I mean, we've beat Maryville, we beat Tellico Plains, which is there's I don't know what they're ranked in 2A, but they're really good. I mean, we beat Warren County, who's been ranked up there. We've gone out of state and beat Mountain Brook, which is a top 5 team in the state of Alabama. We have some really good wins. Our one loss on the season is to Hamilton Heights team that we had a 5-point lead on in the fourth quarter. So, we've played some really good games. And then second half, same thing. We got Hamilton Heights again, Chat Prep. We go Red Bank. Houston comes to Chattanooga, and we play Houston at Chat Prep. We've just, like you said, been very intentional to schedule games that would, one, challenge us and push us to where when we get to tournament time, district tournament, region tournament, state tournament, that we're ready for that level of competition, that physicality and intensity that it takes to play in those types of games. And, we've responded really well so far. We won 30 games last year, and I scheduled this year, and I told our guys preseason, I was like, guys, I'm pretty sure we're not going to be winning 30 this year because, we're playing, our schedule was good last year, but it's a lot better this year as far as, tough games. And so, but so far they've been proving me wrong in a lot of these games, and we've come out with a lot of more wins than I thought we might have at this point. So.
Yeah, Coach, one team that caught my attention when you're talking about upcoming games was Houston. That's right. a quality basketball team that I believe just got a really big win, I think last night, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they actually lost in overtime to Bartlett.
Okay.
But it was if there's such a thing as a good loss, that's a good loss. Bartlett's like ranked 5th in the nation right now, I think, on Max Preps. And they had to hit Bartlett's point guard hit a 3 at the buzzer to tie the game up and send it to overtime. So, yeah, Houston, they'll be here, like I said, January 24th. It's Chattanooga Hoop Fest, and we go down there. It's hosted at Chat Prep, and we'll play them. And that should be a really good one, and they have a lot of size. I mean, they're 6'10", 6'7", some guys like that. So, and that can, that's a challenge for us. Just, because we're so guard heavy. It's not something that we're unfamiliar with, especially this season. We've played plenty of teams that have had 6'8", 6'10", 6'6", 6'7", multiple of those on the floor at once. And, so we'll be okay with that. It's just, they're a really great team. And I think that'll be a good test for us,
Coach, anytime.
In January.
Oh, sorry about that. Anytime I talk to a high school basketball coach, I always like to ask them this: are you a pro or anti-shot clock guy at the high school level?
Oh, I'm a pro shot clock guy for sure. We don't hold it long enough to get a shot clock violation, anyways, most of the time. But I just think that the way the game is today is just better for the game. It takes away a lot of this just milking the game, running offense for so long without really being aggressive and trying to attack. And there's a lot of things you can do just defensively and different strategies and things you can do with a shot clock that you can't without a shot clock. That really, and it just makes it more fun to coach and to play, really. I know the knock on it, it's too expensive, or people are going to mess it up, and I just, they have it in a lot of other states, and it's been super successful. So I think it's something that'll be in Tennessee pretty soon.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you operate under a shot clock at Hamilton Heights? I almost feel like when I was watching that game, I saw that. Do you have to adjust your guys for that when you go up, with that kind of challenge?
A little bit. It's honestly easier to go from not a shot clock to a shot clock than it is the other way around. Like, for instance, when we played in Florida this Christmas in Pensacola, we didn't use a shot clock, and so we played a team out of Georgia that's used to a shot clock. It's probably a little harder adjustment for them because a thing like a 5-second call, closely guarded 5-second call that you get, it doesn't exist when you have a shot clock. So
right.
For us, like, we have a ball handler like Ashton Davis. Like, you're probably not taking the ball from Ashton Davis. He can probably stand up there and dribble the whole shot clock out, and you're never going to take it from him. And so just, like, in order to get into sets and run things, it becomes a lot easier if you have a good point guard because you don't got to worry about a 5-second count. So some things like that. So it's really not an adjustment. I think when we were in Florida, we played 3 games. I think we had 2 shot clock violations in 3 games. And one of them was just, actually both of them were just kind of busted plays and things kind of went haywire. But the rest of the time we never got close. So it wasn't hard at all for us to make that switch.
Hey, Coach, before we let you go here, I do want to ask if you could share with our listeners, let them know what the rest of the week looks like for you guys, for the Mustangs. And if you could also, there was something else I was going to ask him. I think it was a Georgia Tech related question. For those of you that don't know, Coach Campbell, big time Ramblin' Wreck guy, big time. So I was going to try to pit you against Jacob, who of course is a Bulldog here. But I forgot what I was going to say.
He's just glad he doesn't have to sit by me anymore. You know,
you've been seeing that all our offensive guys are going to be Gators next year.
That's true.
You see how Buster Faulkner got the OC job down there, and he's taking our quarterback, our center, all kind of our wide receivers. I'm like, man. But I think we picked up a few too, so I think we'll be all right next year. Brent Key does a good job, but. Yeah, next, as far as basketball goes, we got East Hamilton at East Hamilton on Friday of this week. And then next week, we play 3 games. I think we got, Ottawa, 2 home games, Ottawa on Tuesday and Tellico on Thursday. And that'll be, that should be a really good one. Like I said, Tellico's they're solid, really good team and ranked, they were like number 3 in the state in 2A. I don't know where they're at now, but and then we play. I think we got a game on Friday. Oh, Bradley. We got Bradley on Friday. That's right.
So that's another. You can't forget about that one, Coach. But so we're actually going to be there for that one. We're going to be doing our show there live against Bradley. That's right.
Yeah. I know I shouldn't forget about it. I apologize, Zach. I apologize. But it was that one of course will be a good one. Always fun to play your crosstown rival, and a lot of emotions and energy and everything associated with that game. So we're looking forward to that one too. And coming off of that Tellico game on Thursday, that'll be a rough kind of back-to-back for us. So just presents kind of another challenge, a little more adversity. And, like Jacob said, the schedule, that's really it. Like I've tried to create as much adversity for these guys as I can create throughout the season because, at the end of the day, that's what you want to see is how can you respond to that adversity, who's going to step up in those moments. And that's how you win games in March, So,
by the way, I think I lied, Coach. I think we're coming to Walker Valley. I think when you guys host Cleveland, if that's correct.
That's correct.
Yeah. That's on the 30th, I think.
So my bad. I lied to you. I got your hopes up.
That's all right. No, I was very hopeful, but it's okay. I'll be glad to see you guys on the 30th, too.
Yeah, we'll have a good time. But, hey, once again, appreciate you taking the time to join the show with us today. It's always fun chatting with you, and hope for some continued success for you and the Hardwood Mustangs as the season continues on.
Hey, I appreciate it. And like I said, I'd encourage, listeners, whoever, come out and watch some basketball. Man, this is – and I know I'm a little biased, but this is a special group I got right now. It's some really high-level basketball, and if you like basketball – I promise you'll have a good time no matter who we're playing. So, come catch a game if you can.
No doubt about it. Thanks again, Coach Campbell.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, once again, Walker Valley head basketball coach Will Campbell taking the time to join the show. Always fun talking to him because he's one of those guys, very much like our football coaches, does a good job telling it like it is, his viewpoint. Like if things are kind of lacking in an area, he's not going to sugarcoat it. But when they're good, he's going to let you know that they're good too. And this is a good basketball team.
Yeah, I have a different view because I've been on the floor watching them for the past 3 years. I've done some PA work for them, and man, like they were really good last year. Won 30 games last year, and to walk away, I was kind of sad because I knew what this year would look like as well. I knew that they were going to have a pretty successful year. And it sounds like the Houston game I have circled. Like I might have to go down to Champ Prep.
Well, does it sound like they've missed Jacob too much, by the way?
No, they haven't. I promise you that.
If you beat Baylor in any sport, you're good. You're good. So they beat a really good basketball team. So good for them. And, sitting there, what he said, 11-1 or 12-1?
12-1.
Either way, solid basketball program there at Walker Valley, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, 11-1, 12-1, gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives a crap, right? That's how we look at it, just like Happy Gilmore right here on the drive. Hey, so I want to go ahead before we go to our next break. Let's go ahead and dive into this sports villain conversation because you really got my attention. So just to give a little behind the scenes, some lead up, some preparation for the drive. Jim sent a message. I said, hey, what are we talking about today, guys? Because there's plenty to talk about. But Jim said, why don't we talk about some sports villains? And this guy over here, by the way, as soon as he said it, we get a text maybe like it wasn't even 5 minutes later. And he's got a list written out. It's a picture of a list, and there's easily 40 names on this list.
I just started writing them down because I'm like, okay, the first one that came to my mind, obviously, Lane Kiffin is a huge villain, unless you're an LSU fan, obviously. Ask any Ole Miss fan, he is public enemy number one.
No doubt.
In the state of Mississippi. And so, I got thinking, I'm like, sports villains through the years. Jose Altuve, obviously. I still, to this day, every time he comes to bat in any stadium in Major League Baseball, except in Houston, he's booed ruthlessly. That's just the reality.
Either that or you grab your nearest trash can and start beating the heck out of it.
Exactly. So I got to thinking, I'm like, Terrell, John Rocker. I mean, you remember what a villain he was.
No, not John Rocker.
Now, see, you're a Braves fan. But if you were not a Braves fan, he was a villain big time.
Oh, there's no doubt. They love him in New York.
I mean, I love Pete Rose, but Pete Rose was a villain after the gambling stuff. Barry Bonds has been a villain. Alex Rodriguez.
Listen, I'm trying not to laugh here because it's terrible. It is terrible. But you put Aaron Hernandez on here like legit a villain. This isn't just a sports thing. The guy's a murderer.
Oh Lord!
Ray Caruth. Do you know about Ray Caruth? Don't you? He had his pregnant girlfriend killed. I mean, come on. I mean, some of these guys are just scum. And then you've got other guys like Michael Vick, the dog fighting stuff. Any animal lover was anti Michael Vick after that. Some guys, Roger Clemens, Terrell Owens, from down the road here.
Art Modell was a good one. I saw that and I was like, that's solid.
I mean, think about Art Modell, Robert Irsay, who moved the Colts from Baltimore to Indianapolis. Stan Kroenke moved from the Rams from St. Louis back to L.A. And then Al Davis, he moved the Raiders from Oakland to Los Angeles back to Oakland. And then, of course, his son has moved him to Las Vegas. So there's a lot of villains out there.
What about A-Rod?
Alex Rodriguez, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that guy.
Jim has O.J. Simpson on this list. Listen, if you've committed murder, it's pretty safe to say you're on this list.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I think you could put any president or league manager like
Roger Goodell. Yeah.
Or
Pete Rozelle was hated too before him.
You can put any guy that's in charge of any kind of professional league.
Tanya Harding. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I mean, she had her competition whacked in the knee, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that was wild. That was a minute ago, too. That's been a while.
Lord. There's some good. I mean, when I say there's some good villains, or you can say there's some bad villains. Bill Laimbeer. Everyone hated that guy.
Yes.
Of course, everyone hated the Pistons. But
they called them the Nasty Boys too, didn't they? Or the Bad Boys.
The Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. That's right.
The Bad Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, around here especially, everyone that was a Peyton Manning fan hated Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They just did. I mean, listen, there's a lot of envy in some of these because they weren't on your team.
Yeah.
If they were on your team, you love these guys.
So who do you think are the best currently? I know you mentioned Lane Kiffin,
I think Lane Kiffin
in the coaching ranks, but as an athlete right now, who's the bad guy?
In my lifetime, I think LeBron James became one of them. I really do.
I think he has morphed into something like that because when he was just out of high school and he was dominating the NBA, everyone loved him. And then when he did the decision to leave Cleveland to Miami, then he became vilified in Cleveland. And now all the flopping that he does, a lot of NBA fans are not happy with him.
I think LeBron James is one of them. I think Jose Altuve is one that you can point to in the baseball world that is kind of a villain.
I'm going to go NFL for a second. Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
There are people that love Travis Kelce, but
it's the dating thing.
The diehard football old school fans are like, well, we're so tired of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, so much to the point that they can't stand him anymore.
I think the Chiefs were already kind of on everybody's radar just because of how much success, Patrick Mahomes, all of it. Then you add the Taylor Swift stuff to the picture, and it literally just put a target on all of those names backs for sure.
You know, and I know a lot of NFL fans who just can't stand the push. You know, the tush push. They can't stand that, so they don't like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Reggie Bush is still a villain to me.
As a result of that stuff.
If I saw Reggie Bush in public, I'd push him down and run away.
Can we talk about how slimy the Lane Kiffin actions through his career has to be, that Jim Harbaugh and Connor Stallions are not number one on our list?
Yeah. So as far as Lane Kiffin goes, and we got to get to a break so we can get this last segment in, but I want to say this about Lane Kiffin. We saw who he was with his departure from Tennessee. We saw who he was with the way he acted and handled things as the head coach at USC. So the foundation from the time this house was built, this house that we're going to call Lane Kiffin, the foundation was a rotten foundation from the beginning. But through Florida Atlantic and finding a home at Ole Miss because he needed Ole Miss more than Ole Miss needed him. Remember that statement? Mm-hmm. We saw this beautiful structure start getting built. And now what we've witnessed was that foundation showing what it is and caving in. And once again, now that the house has fallen, we see who he is again. We see that dirty foundation.
Yeah, and I know we got to hit a break, but can you imagine if Ole Miss wins the national championship?
I hope they do.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
my God.
Sorry, Oregon. Sorry, Indiana. I hope they do.
That would be crazy.
I think there's something to be said that Ole Miss is kind of America's team right now.
Yeah.
Everyone loves an underdog.
Yep.
Hey, with that, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to The Drive right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, but only for a limited time. Pick 2 full-sized favorites for just $6.99. Bag yours before they're gone. Choose from the charbroiled double cheeseburger, hot ham and cheese, spicy chicken sandwich, and our saucy hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. You've got it in the bag. The Original Bag. Any 2 plus fries and a drink, just $6.99. Only at Hardee's. Get the best deals on the Hardee's app. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
When an emergency happens, every second counts. That is why Park Ridge Health System is working to bring a new, high-quality, 24/7 freestanding emergency room right here to Cleveland. This ER will expand access for families in Cleveland and Bradley County, and it will give Polk County something it doesn't have today: dependable, around-the-clock emergency care. Together, we can make it happen. Visit ParkRidgeClevelandER.com to learn more and add your voice in support. That's ParkRidgeClevelandER.com.
ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is powered by Duracell.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the General Manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
The College National Championship Game and the Super Bowl are the 2 most expensive games to advertise on every year. Well, Cleveland Business Services and ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is giving your business a chance to win free radio ads in both games, along with an additional ad package, a social media takeover, plus an interview on the drive. Enter today and score big for your business with ESPN Cleveland 101.3 and Cleveland Business Services. Enter now on the ESPN Cleveland socials and at ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
The Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics Urgent plus Ortho Gun Barrel is now open 7 days a week. The McCallie, Dayton, and North Georgia offices are open Monday through Friday, and Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday for walk-in care. So,
hey, I can attest to that. My little one broke his wrist literally like Monday and was able to walk in, get an X-ray, and get a cast, and they took great care of him, man. So shouts out to Center for Sports Medicine.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Andy, is that not who you're dealing with your knee, or is that someone else?
So a lot of our listeners are familiar with our good friend Jason Spangler.
Yes.
And a surgeon over there at Center for Sports Medicine. Not only did he take care of my knee, I had a torn ACL and meniscus, took care of my son's ankle, about to take care of a torn labrum in his hip as well. So we're helping keep Center for Sports Medicine in business, the Morris family is. But
he's having a Merry Christmas because of your family.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. But no, honestly, they do such a good job. And growing up with the Spangler family and knowing them for years, I wouldn't go to anyone else. Especially, when you talk about having such a good surgeon here locally, shout out to those guys. They do a phenomenal job. And then if you have to go to rehab after the fact over there at C4, man, I tell you what, Arden Biller is the physical therapist there. He had my son back and ready in form in what seemed like no time. And of course, I'm a little bit older, don't bounce back quite as quick, but he had me doing stuff I didn't think I'd be doing a lot quicker than most places.
Yeah, now I want to get into the Damon Williams. He's the quarterback at Washington. Very, very reminds me a lot about Trinidad at Ole Miss. He's very, very mobile, can throw good, he can run. He's a dual threat guy. Last week he had signed or re-signed with Washington, and apparently it's an ironclad contract. But there's no such thing as ironclad contracts in collegiate athletics. It's not like the NFL or the Major League Baseball where you don't like your contract. I'm sorry, you sign, you're locked in. In college athletics, you're not locked into nothing. But then it comes that he's entering the transfer portal and has entered the transfer portal, and all the rumors are that Lane Kiffin is going to get this kid to go, to transfer from Washington to LSU. He'll be the LSU starting quarterback next year. But it's just the way this is going down. He's going to get a hefty increase in pay going from Washington to LSU. He was going to make a little over $4 million at Washington. It looks like he's going to make upwards of $6 million at LSU. But it's the way this goes down, guys. It's so messed up. Our system in the collegiate athletics is so messed up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how some of these rulings go down, because I know George is in the midst of suing a former player for $400,000. I'm sure if he leaves Washington, Washington's going to sue him because they signed a contract. And to me, like, now that we're paying these kids, they're semi-professionals.
Yeah,
they're working a job while getting an education.
But what I've heard, the way you get around this is you don't enter the transfer portal. You just drop out of school and you enroll, and you're a walk-on. Well, guess what? You're not truly a walk-on because you get to get paid $6 million. That's the way you get around it.
Yeah, they've got to fix it.
You're not truly transferring. You just walk. You unenroll and you enroll as a walk-on, and there's no way to do anything about it.
And just continuing on with the portal talks, I don't know. I think I sent y'all this today about Mark Cuban in Indiana.
Yeah.
He made a comment that Indiana is happier this coming year than they were last year about the money that he's donated for them to spend in the portal.
You know why they're happier, right?
Because he donated a lot of money.
He's giving them more money.
Yeah, he's giving more money for 2026 than he did in 2025.
And really, like this is just the reality and the truth, y'all. And it's really interesting to think about, and like the landscape going forward. But like most teams, like Georgia doesn't have a Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban's one of the richest men in the entire United States.
Yeah, but there's not very many billionaires that are huge sports fans that are going to go out there and give $20 million.
That's the key, that are sports fans. You may have a lot of millionaires or billionaires, but maybe they're not into sports. They're not going to donate or give money to whatever school for their football or the basketball program because they don't give a flip. They don't. Mark Cuban's a big sports guy. He loves it, so he's giving all that money to Indiana. You got the oil billionaire in Texas is giving all that money to Texas Tech. The world that we've grown up in, collegiate athletic-wise, is completely flipped upside down now.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to be the best teams, who's ever got the richest alumni who are willing to donate to the money to get these athletes.
Yeah, and I don't know how you fix it now that Pandora's box is open. Like, it's open. It's like we talked about with the toothpaste yesterday. Once you squeeze it out of the tube, it's hard to get all of it back.
So
in
you got a quarterback who could be making $6 million next year for LSU. Apparently, that'll probably be Damon Williams. If they do something, they put a cap on it, and they're going to say, "Oh, now the most you can make is $2 million." So you're going to go backwards from someone making $6 million to $2 million. There will be so many lawsuits thrown up there. There'll be so many things. You can't do that. And there's going to be so many. Lawyers are the ones that are benefiting because they're going to be hired by both sides, and the lawyers win no matter what. But it's a disaster what's going on in collegiate athletics, a disaster. And some schools cannot compete. They just can't.
Well, that's why this whole – and I was talking about this earlier today with a friend of mine – the whole dynamic between the NIL and the transfer portal, there's got to be at some point a place where common sense comes into play, where we've heard the rumors and talked about it now for a year. Nick Saban needs to be the commissioner of college football and needs to kind of, lay the groundwork for things to get figured out so this isn't so chaotic, wild, wild west type mentality. And I do think eventually that is going to happen, because you've got guys that are signing deals, collecting paychecks, and then leaving a week later. Like, at some point, there's got to be accountability held for breach of contract.
And that's what Georgia's doing. Yeah.
Yes, and so right now it's kind of privately done. But if you can blanket across the entire, I say league because that's what it's becoming, but across all of college football, if you can blanket that and say these are the standards and you have to adhere to these standards, that's going to clean a lot of this up. So at some point, we need to let the NCAA, or it might be even deeper than that. It might be even more micro than that. It might be the Big Ten and the SEC. We need to let them do their jobs and police this a little bit more.
Yeah, because let's be honest. Like, how many coaching careers is this going to end? It ended Nick Saban's. Like, the NIL and the transfer portal ended the greatest football coach of all time because
he wasn't going to deal with this.
He wasn't going to deal with this.
Yeah.
And so how many coaches say, you know what? I'm done. Or, you know what, like, if the NFL's calling, I'm actually really going to consider this.
When we start having quarterbacks making the equivalent, well, listen, let's say Damon Williams goes to LSU. He's second highest paid person on that not on the roster, in that program. Only Lane Kiffin will make more. He'll make more than the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's going to make more than the guy that's calling the plays and teaching him how to do it.
It's become unreal. I can't believe what has happened in collegiate athletics has happened, and it's only taken 2, maybe 3 years. It's gone from, name, image, and likeness. Oh, you're going to get paid to do a few commercials for a car dealership here. It's not become, and now it's just basically you're getting paid to play.
Well, this is
this is not what it was designed for.
Well, that's the hard thing, is because it's not name, image, and likeness.
No, they're getting paid to play.
Yeah, and it's like you can't even fix it with like NFL or NBA type rules because it's not It's unbelievable. I don't know. We've opened such a box that I don't know how, like, legally, I don't know how we're going to come back from it. I don't know how you can legally justify saying, oh, he can't profit out of his name, image, and likeness, but, like, all you got to go do is a $6 million one commercial or, like, one visitation for $6 million just to come to the school.
To say, that's what I got paid for. I did this one commercial. I got paid $6 million, which is absurd. We know it's a lie. But that's what they're using to say, yeah, we did this. He got paid this much money for this, watching the grass grow.
Yeah.
That's basically what it's become.
Yeah, so I want to kind of shift gears here, go back to the Harbaugh situation before we have to cut out for the day. Looks like there's a lot of suitors in the NFL. He's not going to be waiting for a job too long.
No, I mean, he's going to be able to pick and choose which NFL franchise looks the best to him, and like you guys said, it may be a job that's not even opened up yet. He may be willing and dealing behind the scenes somewhere, and they're going to fire their coach this Saturday, and he'll be the head coach on Monday. Who knows where he'll end up? Well, he may end up literally anywhere.
His agent let it, I guess not let it slip. He let it out there that 7 teams had called within like the first hour. Well, boys, there's only 6 openings.
Not including Baltimore.
Not including Baltimore. Baltimore's the 7th. So Baltimore didn't fire him and then called him right after. There was at least one, and from what I've heard, it might have been the New York Jets. But they're going to have a hard time because, like you talked about on me and Andy were talking off air, it seems like the Giants are all in.
Yeah, the Giants are really making a push. They want to bring him to New York and make sure that he's wearing Giant blue, not jet green.
Wow. The Giants and Jets both are desperate for something. That city, I'm not a New York fan, okay? I don't like any New York teams. But, man, they have the worst of all worlds when it comes to football. The Jets and Giants both are absolutely dumpster fires. And it's unbelievable. They've both been bad for a while. Now, the Jets have been bad for decades. The Giants have had some success, but right now both teams are just at the very bottom.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, I think the Falcons. I know we got to get off the air, but I think the Falcons is a good job opening.
It's attractive.
It's an attractive job.
A lot of people are saying Tennessee is a place where they think he's going to land too. There's a lot more to be said for this story. More stuff is going to break. We're going to bring it to you right here on The Drive. Unfortunately, got a match tomorrow. Got some senior night stuff going on up at Walker Valley. Won't be here, but you guys got it under control. Again, breaking news today, junior defensive back Jaden Gray from Bradley announced on social media transferring to Cleveland. You guys are going to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, I believe, as more info comes out on that as well. So with that, for Jim, Jacob, I'm Andy. Have a great day, everybody.